All right, Hendon Hooker looks really good, and the Lions win against the Chiefs, and it was just kind of what we needed to see. Here's this play where he's just kind of looking, and then sees that it's not there, and then he's able to take off and score. And let me just go back to the beginning here. Takes off, and from 15 yards out, like he's standing on the 15-yard line, able to explode and get into the end zone. So that was the highlight, right? Of like, okay, let's go. But here's the thing. As we look at the Lions a week ago at this time, we were like, shoot, Hendon Hooker's out with a concussion. Nate Sudfeld looks terrible. And it's like, what the heck? It was just like that whole Giants game last week was terrible. Now, fast forward, Hendon Hooker looks good. We saw it where he went 12 of 15, 161 yards and a touchdown. On top of that, Nate Sudfeld even looked good, looked better because when Sudfeld was so bad, it made you question Hendon Hooker. And what I mean by that is it's like, well, we can't even go with Sudfeld. So that means Hooker by default is going to be QB2. I don't even know if he's good, but it's like Sudfeld's so bad. Now it's like, you know what? Sudfeld played okay. So if Hendon Hooker beats him out, which he will, I just feel so much better about that. So the good Hendon Hooker news is that he played good, he played steady, and we'll look at a couple other guys that played really well from this game as well. But the Hendon Hooker one was when we had to get right because the backup quarterback is not, we don't plan to use him, obviously, but if we need somebody, it's great to see that the backup quarterback looked really a lot better. The backup, the whole quarterback room looked so much better. We looked like we had athletes out there in this game. It looked like when we got guys in space, we were fast. We looked athletic. Well, and so that was really encouraging. So to see Hendon Hooker be that, right? And he's really refreshing to see compared to Jared Goff because he can move his legs or he can move. And so he can use his legs. And so why that's encouraging is because if Hendon Hooker needs to be used this season, he has the arm talent and the ability, but then it's also really nice just when you don't have the experience, you can move and use your feet and create problems for the defense. I love that. And so I'm very confident now that he can get us a couple victories if need be, if something happens to Jared Goff, which is huge when you're a Super Bowl contending team, Super Bowl roster. It would be really nice if we weren't 100% dependent on Jared Goff like we've been in the past few years. Thankfully, he hasn't gotten hurt. It's nice to see we've got some ability behind Jared Goff. Now, other guys that looked really good. Now, actually, I thought this was a perfect kind of way to put it. Booner put this. Hooker should be QB2. And let me know in the comments who you liked and what you saw in the preseason game number 2. Because by the way, and Craig said it in the video he did today as well, like it just felt so much better than that first one. And that first preseason game was just like, geez, I know I get it. It's preseason, blah, blah, blah. But still, that didn't feel good. This felt so much better. So many all around, get the win. The whole thing is great. Vaki is a monster. We'll get to him. Isaiah Williams had a day and should make the 53-man roster. We'll get to him. Special teams looked rough. The wide receiver 4-5 battle is still there, up in the air. Pass rush depth looked better. I agree with that. And Jake Bates is that guy. So let's talk about Vaki right here. Let me just pull this up. Running back Sion Vaki put on quite a show. In the final drive of the first half, he had 4 receptions for 60 yards as well as a carry for 3. He also fielded 1 kick return and later combined with a Jalen Reeves-Maybin for a tackle on special teams. Vaki just feels right. It's just like Brad Holmes, great job. You found a guy that's explosive, can get into the right spot, make guys miss. He looked different out there on the field. He looked like a starting or a 53-man roster guy playing out there with guys that may or may not make the team and the opponent. And that's how it should look if he's going to be a guy that makes the team. So great to see Sion Vaki. That's the stuff we wanted to see from him. It's like, man, this dude feels like he's a guy that we can absolutely depend on, and that was great to see. The other guy that we're kind of talking about is Isaiah Williams. So he was a priority undrafted free agent. Picked him up after the draft, doesn't necessarily have the size, but he's a wide receiver kick return guy that had multiple plays yesterday where it's like, dude, that's what we need to see. More of that. So to see Isaiah Williams play really well and really maybe pick up that other spot at wide receiver, maybe we can trust him. In any case, he gets open. He's fast. He's shifty. He's great on kick return, punt return. So that was really good to see. It was good to see these outliers stand up and show that in the depth pieces, we've got something here. So I love seeing that. The other guy that I thought was pretty interesting. Let me get to him. Hold on. Here we go. We've been talking a lot about him. Is Mekhi Wingo. Didn't play much against the Chiefs. Early on in the game, he combined for a tackle with Pat O'Connor. Other than that, he was a non-factor on the defensive line for Detroit. This is a guy that we keep kind of amping up. I know I have been for sure, because he fits everything that we need from a defensive tackle standpoint. And so again, not seeing him much was a little disappointing. Want to see more from him, but keep him in mind as we go forward, because remember, DJ Reader is our big time, him and Aleem McNeil. Like when the rubber meets the road, that's who we want to be out there in December. He's dealing with injuries. We want to get him fully healthy before we bring him back. So if that means he misses 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to start the season, so be it. Right? We don't want him. We want him late in the season. So, but in order for him to do that, we need somebody to step up in the meantime that can be in for him. So keep an eye on that as well. So let me know in the comments who you liked, what you saw from this preseason game. I think if you're being honest, it's like, okay, we saw a much different team out there. Again, it's preseason, but I think we had to see some things with our eyes. We saw Hendon Hooker do some things, Vaki, Isaiah Williams. That's like, okay, those are guys we had question marks about. Somebody rose up and did some things. That's what we like to see. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you are watching us and you have not subscribed and you kind of watch a lot of our videos, I would love it if you would subscribe. It's just, I don't even know what it does other than we ask people all the time to do it at the end of the video. It's kind of nice to see. It's like, oh yeah, we got 20,000 subs. That's cool. So, again, if you haven't subscribed, just hit that subscribe button. That would be awesome. And, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Lions, one more preseason game and we'll get this thing kind of rolling. So let me know your thoughts and we'll see all of you on the next one.